With the new rules of how college players can now make money off of their name, of course, this is going to change a lot of things, but it's also going to make everything else interesting. I normally have no idea what I'm going to title my videos until I post them, but I know exactly what I'm going to title this one, and it's for a good reason. And when you saw the thumbnail and title of this video, you probably thought it was your typical clickbait on YouTube, but no. I'm not titling the video and saying this just to say it. I mean it 100%. What we're going to be talking about in today's video would literally break college basketball. It's not where I think this is something cool and it could potentially break it, but if this does happen, it will. And the scary part about this is that it's not just some random thing I thought of, because this could legitly happen. And if I'm being 100% real with all of you, there's a good shot of this happening. I'd say it's roughly over 45%. So without further ado, let's get into what we need to talk about. I got two words for you: Dior and Johnson. Put them together and you got Mr. Dior Johnson, one of the best point guards in all of college basketball. Well, not yet, but he's going to be. All throughout his high school career, he was looked at as a 5-star recruit and the #1 point guard. Around a couple of weeks ago, he somewhat shocked everyone and announced that he was going to play his college ball at Oregon. The main reason it was real shocking at the time is because he made that announcement before this rule passed, so I guess he knew something that we didn't. Looking back on it now, him going to Oregon, it almost makes perfect sense because that's one of the best places you can go for your name, image, and likeness. I'm sure some of you know this, but I'm also sure some of you don't, but Oregon is where the Nike, I don't know if it's the founder or whatever, but somebody that's big at Nike, he's from Oregon, so that's why they get all these crazy nice clothes. Remember when Oregon was wearing a different football helmet and uniform at every football game? Yeah, that's why. So with Oregon having this very close connection with Nike, this is going to lead to big endorsement deals. It doesn't guarantee anything, but it's a better opportunity and probably the best one for any big time high school player. Right there, before I go any farther, Oregon already has a great point guard who's going to be able to market himself tremendously and benefit from their name. That's not what's going to break college basketball, but it's what I'm about to get into next. The #1 overall player in the class of 2022, Imani Bates, has narrowed down his top 8 schools. Or not 8 schools, but 8 options. And those final 8 that he recently announced is the NBA G League, Overtime Elite, the NBL, Oregon, Memphis, Michigan State, Baylor, and Miami. Aha, I think you see where we're going with this. We're about to play a little game that I like to call the process of elimination. I'm not Imani, I don't know Imani, and I don't talk to his family, so this is just going to be an educated guess. Yes, that is his top 8, but when you dissect the list, there's only really 4 to 5 legit options. You can almost mark out the Overtime Elite program because a lot of high school players were only considering that because they couldn't profit off of their name in college, but now you can do so. Same thing with the NBL, players were only considering that because they want to make money right away. The only professional route that I'm going to keep in there is the NBA G League because that still seems like one that a lot of players tend to like. So now for the colleges, we're left with Oregon, Memphis, Michigan State, Baylor, and Miami. Not too sure how Miami even cracked this top 8. I think he just threw them in there for the laughs, but there's no way and no chance he goes there. They haven't been a good program in years, and that's very far from where he's at now, so there's no home in-state reason to go there. You can almost scratch out Michigan State too because he was committed there for 2 to 3 years and decommitted, and it is very rare for a player to decommit then recommit back to a college. He decommitted for a reason. I wouldn't be shocked if he went back to Michigan State, but it's something that more than likely won't happen. So right there, going off of common knowledge, we've already narrowed it down to 4 to 5 schools or options. We got Oregon, Baylor, Memphis, and the NBA G League. Those are the 4 that make the most sense to me because Memphis, Baylor, and Oregon are all really good basketball programs. Michigan State is too, but like we said, he already decommitted from them, and the Miami thing doesn't make any sense at all to me. And the Overtime Elite program in NBL, yeah, I've already talked about it. After he released his list to the public, there has been a lot of people speculating that Oregon may not be the front runner, but they're in the top 2 to 3. When you hear Oregon basketball, you really don't think of top 5-star and 4-star recruits going there, so at first it sounds like a weird thing, but now we may start to see more players go there. So now we can get into this question, and really the question of this video. How would and why would this break college basketball? And oh yeah, I'm talking about if Imani does decide to commit and sign with Oregon. That's what I'm about to get into. If Imani does decide to go to Oregon, right there off the bat, they already have 2 5-star recruits and 2 of the best players at the position on one team. But hold on. I know that some of you may be getting ready to go to the comment section and say, Matt, Dior's about to play there this year and Imani has 1 year left of high school basketball, and yes, I know this. I'm going off of a limb here, but I wouldn't be surprised if Dior does come back to Oregon, so that's why I'm talking about this and making this video. Now, there's no real pressure to even be a one and done, because if he's making $3 million a year off of endorsements at Oregon, why would he go to the NBA if he's going to be a 2nd round pick? And then 2, if he's talking to Imani and Imani wants him to come back and they can team up and take over the college game, I think he would do so. So bam, we got Dior coming back for his 2nd year and then a star-powered Imani coming in for his 1st year. I'm not going to sit up here and bore you and tell you about how they're going to dominate the game and they're both going to go off, because we know that. When I'm saying this would break college basketball, I'm not even talking about their performance on the court. I'm strictly talking about what would happen off the court. You'd have 2 big-time players that have a big market brand value and they're pretty much famous in the basketball community. They would easily combined be racking up over $10 million worth of endorsement deals, and this is going to be for Oregon. That's kind of simple though, and I think most of you knew that. I arguably think if this does happen that Oregon would be one of the most watched college teams out there. You'd have 2 of the biggest names in all of college on one team, and also 2 of the highest paid college players on one team. I think you understand what I'm talking about, so let's get into my next point. What does this mean for the future? Well, this would now change the way players look at Oregon as a program. When you think of Oregon for the past 4 to 5 years, what comes to your mind first? It's definitely not basketball. If anything, it's football. You don't really see them as a legit basketball school. They've had some good seasons and a lot of surprising seasons, but still, you get where we're going. But with them now seeing that Imani and Dior made a lot of money off of their contracts with Nike at Oregon, this would open the door for many other players. Oregon would now be one of the top schools in contention for every single 3, 4, and 5-star recruit. And if I'm being 100% honest, it wouldn't even matter if they're good or not, because most of these kids just want to get paid, and that's fine. I'm going to be very transparent in this next statement. If somebody told me I could go to Duke and go 40-0 and win the championship and they'd pay me $500,000, or I could go to Oregon, go 0-40, but I get paid $3 million, I go to Oregon. We don't have to agree on that, and that's fine, but hey, I'm taking the $3 million because that would set me for life. Yeah, winning a championship would be cool and all, but that's only temporary. That would be just 1 year. When this was brought to my attention and going into this video, I laughed at the thought of Imani Bates even considering Oregon, but now it makes more sense than what even I thought. Call me crazy, but I'm starting to believe that he may be leaning towards there more than what some people think, and that may be the front runner. I got a weird feeling too that he could be leaning towards Baylor. I mean, they just won the championship, so he'd want to go to a winning program, and I could see him fitting in with them nicely. I don't really like the whole Memphis fit and all the others we've already talked about, and we don't know what he's going to do, but I think some of us have an idea. Let me know what you think about all this in the comment section down below. But with all that being said, that's going to wrap up this video. Hope you all enjoyed. Hope you learned something. If you're new to the channel, what are you doing? Join the family, hit that subscribe button, and leave a like for more. And as always, let's be great. I'm out, y'all. Peace.